Okay, здравствуйте, товарищи, and welcome to Stalin's Starcraft 2 Battle Report. And I've got I guess you could say this is a viewer match, but there's a lot of subtext to this match, but we'll get into it as time goes on. Anyway, playing as the red Protoss is going to be Duke Canada, and across the map, playing as the teal Terran is going to be Card Jr. And I can't remember what map this is on. Who knows? Who cares? I think it is, the remake of Lost Temple. I don't know. Again, I'll look it up before I post the video. But anyway, these guys are both my friends on my friends list, and I play with them quite frequently. Of course, you know Card. He's shown up in a couple of battle reports, on my team. And a couple, 2 versus 2s and 4 versus 4s and whatever else. But I don't think Duke has actually been in one of my battle reports yet, which is kind of odd because I play with him fairly regularly as well. But anyway, these two guys had an argument between one another, and they wanted me to settle this. Well, they didn't want me to settle this. They just kind of wanted me to watch while they settled it. Anyway, the argument was that Card believed that early Terran Marauder push could destroy a Protoss player. Was his thinking, and Duke argued the opposite. He thought, no, he can do an early Marauder push, but if Protoss knows what he's doing, he can hold out. So this is exactly the argument that they sought out to resolve with this battle. And I'm not going to spoil anything this time. Usually I end up just blabbing on and spoiling stuff, so I'll try to keep my mouth shut for this match, or as much as I can without spoiling anything. But we can see Card's already got that tech lab down. He's already pumping out that Marauder. And Duke is a bit behind. He doesn't have, he's just getting his gateway down with his cybernetics core, and, okay, I don't know, someone's trying to talk to me. Just got his cybernetics core down, but he doesn't have any units, and you can already see the Card is pushing his Marauder out across the field, so he's really going to commit to that early Marauder push. And he's still harassing with an SCV. And Duke is pumping out a Stalker. Definitely not the best unit to go up against a Marauder. And he's gonna just push on through, and he's gonna start trying to take down that gateway. But Duke is gonna pull off all his probes to try and fight this battle. And this Stalker and this Marauder are gonna go toe-to-toe with one another. But the combined force of this probe and the Stalker is going to take down that Marauder, and Card is also trying to build the bunker, but he's going to end up canceling that because the probes are going to overwhelm him, obviously. So this is kind of an interesting match from my perspective. Just watch, my two good friends of mine go at it. I didn't really, want to have a dog in this fight, so to speak, because, they're both good guys, and they're both good players, so I didn't really want to, root for one over the other. Felt kind of bad if I did. But it looks like Card is going for his factory as well, so maybe he's going to go for a 1-1-1 build, which for those of you who don't know what a 1-1-1 build, essentially what that means is one barracks, one factory, and one starport. Yep, there goes the starport. So it is a 1-1-1 build, and that allows you to transition into whatever you need to transition to based on what the enemy is planning. Also, Card has got a Reaper out in the field, and he's going to do a little bit of a Reaper harass with this guy here. He's going to come in, and he's going to kill that probe. start killing a couple more. Not gonna do, you know, a whole ton of damage with one Reaper, and that Stalker's gonna chase him off. That Stalker's not gonna be able to do a lot of, or that Reaper's not gonna be able to do a lot of damage to that Stalker, and then he's gonna explode, killing, you know, a couple probes. Also, Duke's got an Immortal out on the field. Duke has been sort of really claiming that he's got this super foolproof anti-Terran build for the Protoss that'll, you know, defeat a Terran player every time. I still don't exactly know what it is, but he keeps praising it. By the way, when I told Duke that I was going to put this match up on the internet, on the internets, he is ever since then been practicing comebacks for people who would call him a noob. So that's what I'm going to encourage you guys to do. Just, even though I know he's not a noob, just keep calling him that, just so I can see what comebacks he's worked up in his spare time. Of course, Duke has got an Observer out there. Very, you know, keen essentials for a Protoss player. Also, looks like Card's going to go for a Hellion Harass, but that Immortal's blocking the path, so no harassment for him. But he's going to go for immediately, you know, transitioning into another Harass. Here comes a Banshee. Is he researching Cloak? Let's check it out. Yeah, he's just about finished that Cloak, so he's going to be able to do a little bit of harassment. But Duke's got an Observer here, at least. Looks like he doesn't have one back home and only a couple Stalkers out on the field. Looks like also Card's got a couple Marauders loaded into that medevac for additional firepower. So here comes the Banshee, and she's going to start, you know, hurting these probes, and Card's Observer is not coming back home to see what's up. Instead, he's building a Colossi from his robotics facility, and he's got an Observer queued after that. And you know, on a side note, when I was actually watching this match, because I'm pretty sure I mentioned this, but I was spectating this entire thing. I was kind of in my head screaming like, no, you saw it coming the whole time. You have an Observer there. You know, bring him back and finish off this Banshee. And he finally gets his Observer, you know, there in the field. But, you know, that Banshee has killed 15 probes. And also its Cloak is out anyway, and it's just going to fly away, doing a lot of damage to Duke's economy. But over on Card's side, he does not have a lot of troops here. Does not have a lot of troops out on the field. This medevac is going to come in, do a little bit of damage in its own right, but, you know, Duke's got a pretty sizable force here. And, you know, that transport is going to go down with Marauders and all. You know, all things considered, this is a kind of a force to be reckoned with, at least on Duke's end. A pretty sizable force and good counters to what Card has. He's got a couple, you know, Marines, which will be dealt with by that Colossi, and a Marauder that'll be dealt with by the Immortals, and then Siege Tanks, which can also be dealt with by Immortals because their shields limit their you know, shots to only 10 damage. So he's going to come in and pretty much kill the entirety of Card's force and stop him from expanding, at least for a little bit. As you can see, in his base, he only has one siege tank, but, you know, Duke does not push the gap. I mean, again, after the match, I told him, like, you could have had him, you know, right here. This was it. But instead, he decides he's not going to push, and he's going to fall back. And Card just swings into full production mode. putting down 3 extra barracks, and he's got queued what looks to be about 8 more. Yeah, 8 more, you know, for the rest of his SCVs. So he's just gonna bring out the big guns here. And Duke's got another observer in the base, but I mean, there's a Raven right here, so it can see everything that's going on. But Card doesn't have any troops capable of attacking air right now. He has